But we also have some really exciting news that if you haven't seen it yet, we put our email out last night. We'll be posting more about it. And we're sorry a little bit late on things, just August got away from us. Starting on September 20th, hopefully that date will be in stone. We'll be hosting a 10-week kind of a junior mastermind group. We'll be hitting topics every single week and diving intense. This is for people that have taken a beginner course, have some knowledge about notes, right? And are looking for that in-between stage, right? Where you may have bought 2 or 3 notes and just find yourself lost, or took a beginner course, have a good grasp of it, but want to go to the next level. So you'll be networking with us, learning from us, but also networking with other investors that are going to be in the same kind of level as you are. This isn't for those who've done 40, 50 deals. This is more for those beginners / middle advanced people. And we'll put the link in the bottom, but it's on my website and everything else. And our emails went out.
Yeah, maybe you took that course and you thought, oh, this is really cool, but are still a little bit nervous because you don't feel like you've got it. We're going through all kinds of different scenarios, all kinds of different things, including homework, so that you can get some of that experience as we do the course, so that you can get out there and
our focus is confidence, being confident in note investing and buying, right? Taking the basic knowledge, taking the next step, and then circulating with the network of people. And we're also going to be sharing resources and tools that neither one of us has ever shared publicly.
Right.
So it's going to be really cool. So if you're looking for that stuff that you said, Dave, have you asked for it, or Nathan, and we haven't, well, we'll be unlocking some of that, most of it during this course for those who jump in there. So they definitely take a look at that. We got some people tuning in from Bobby Quinn, some Colorado people. Feel free to put chats in the chat box. Some people are on LinkedIn, some people are on Facebook groups, some people are on a Facebook page. I'm trying to juggle it all, so hopefully I don't get distracted. Well,
all that.
Note investing due diligence is probably one of the more difficult areas of note investing, right? And understanding all that. You have the tape data, figuring out your bid. Then you have the post, which is managing, which is also struggling. But your due diligence period is a few key items, right?
And it's a short time.
Yes.
But you've got to get it right.
Yes.
And so it's not to put any pressure, but you got to do it right. And if you don't do it right, you can get hung and into some trouble.
So you have certain things like the data on the property, right? You have the numbers, which you can figure out. Then you have the O&E, which is your collateral title report. O&E is your knowing the fact of what the taxes are, what liens on the property. Mm-hmm. You also have the collateral file, make sure it's secure and all stuff. But there's one little big feature that we're discussing today, which is the value of the property. And industry standards is to go get this thing called a broker's price opinion. In other words, a BPO. So we're gonna discuss.
And we've had this discussion, Dave and I, a few times about BPO or no BPO, or the validity of that document, that report. I'm a big BPO guy. However, you can't take it at face value, and that's part of what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I think for me, understanding that BPO does make a difference, right? We'll be talking to Mick today about this. Let me bring him in to the fold as we discuss this world of valuing a property. Mick was part of our weekly mastermind group, and he mentioned that I didn't know about him. He was a BPO guy. But before we get too far, Mick, welcome to our Friday show. And can you share a little bit about who you are? How did you become into real estate in general? Give us some of your background.
Sure. Hi, Dave. Hi, Nathan, and everybody listening. Hello. How is everybody? Well, Janet and I got started. Actually, my wife, Janet, got started in real estate in 1999 because we bought a house. And we moved to South Carolina, and we bought a house. And she saw the closing statement and said, "My God, that's a commission. I can do this. I know I can do this." So she went and got a real estate license, just like, I'm sure a lot of people do the same thing. Back then, the market was really seriously hot. and people were selling things, but Janet didn't want to jump into the traditional real estate market, so to speak, which was driving customers around, showing houses and things like that. What she wanted to do was basically work desktop type of work. Okay. And she found a company that told her about BPOs. And they said, they're basically very informal, almost appraisals, but they're not. They're just price opinions based on the data that you have in the market. So she started doing those, and she did enough of those. Well, you remember back in 07, 08, what was coming down the road. Okay. So she was doing those reports, and a lot of those reports were done for some of the big banks and lenders who were looking at a tsunami of non-performing notes coming down the pipe. So make a long story short, some of these reports got into the hands of these people in the big banks, and they called her and said, hey, listen, can you handle the REOs for us? And if you know my wife, Janet, she is one of those people who says, absolutely, I can handle 100 of them. And then we figure it out.
Yep.
Okay. And that's exactly what happened is the REO and the BPO business, just like the note community, is not that big. So, when you do a good job and you're recommended, you usually get recommended throughout the industry. And pretty soon, Janet had customers through HUD, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Bank of America, and so many different other customers that we just boomed all the way until 2012. And we were at the height in 2017, but Janet also knew that ride wasn't going to last forever.
Sure.
So we started looking, and we found notes. And we shifted over to the note industry and learned about the note industry. And it kind of dovetailed into what we were already doing, especially with due diligence and BPOs.
Sure.
So, BPOs became part of something that we still do to this day.
Wow.
Actually, Jen's probably still working on a BPO right now. But we complete BPOs every single week. Sometimes they're listing BPOs for properties that we list, and sometimes they're fee-based BPOs, they're companies that pay us to do the BPOs. So we do those consistently, and we've been doing them for a great number of years. And they can be interesting for sure.
So this is the debate: is what's a good BPO versus a bad BPO?
We're jumping right into the five.
Oh yeah,
BPO.
That's
let's quickly, for those who may not know what a BPO is or have ordered them and never looked at them, right? Can you give a summary of what would they expect on a typical BPO?
Certainly. A BPO company will send out an order to an agent, and they will ask for the type of valuation that they want. Okay. Sometimes they'll reach out and they'll say, we need a distressed property valuation. Sometimes they'll say, we need a fair market valuation. We need it based on 120 days in the past, or, you can go back 6 months in the past. They'll tell you a lot of the parameters that they're looking for. So it's not like it's just a huge report and you got to try to narrow it all down. A lot of these BPO companies will give you the parameters that you need to stay within. And sometimes it's tough, sometimes it's not. Okay. It depends on how suburban or rural the property may be. You may have to exceed some of those parameters. But a good BPO versus a bad BPO. Okay. One thing to remember is you're not just using a BPO to evaluate the number, the conclusion of the BPO agent, the value of the property. Okay. Yes, that does make a huge difference to you, the person who's evaluating that property, but you should also be evaluating the BPO. Okay. Look at it. See the proximity of the comps. Okay. Are all the comps within 1/2 mile in a suburban area? Okay. If there's one or two of them that are like 5 miles out in a suburban area, you may want to just kind of give it another really solid look.